Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my RV collection, which, if I'm correct, is every single RV that has been released so far. And unfortunately, that is not a whole lot, although it's certainly good that we've gotten more than like two. RVs are probably some of the most unique diecasts that they've made. All different shapes, sizes, colors. Well, most of them are like a tan or a white color, or sometimes gray. But yeah, there's some of them. They have some unique paint schemes. And today we're going to be looking at each and every one of them. This kind of matches up, because like the day before I'm recording this, I like had a weird dream in the night, and it was like, there was an STCC exclusive. It was like a, sort of like the same length as Big Al over here. But it was like gray, and it was sort of like Barry Diesel, it was sort of like this guy, the Condor Brother K, but it was like all gray, like a dark metallic gray, and there was Albert Hinky length, of course, and that was supposed to be like the SDCC exclusive for 2017, and then it got canceled, but I remembered it from like a previous dream, so I thought it was real when I thought it was like a, what was it even called? The dream that I had a few days ago. Oh, yesterday. But then I like went to go get it out of the. It was like canceled, but it was showing a package. I don't know, it's weird. And then I went to go get it out of my closet for some reason. And instead of that, there was another one. It had like a bunch of Dynaco cars. It had like a Dynaco fan. It was like Timothy Timezone Troop, not Timothy Timezone. It was, what's his name? Matthew McGrew. Except he was like a green color, and he had like the thing that Polly Puddle Jumper has. There was like a dollar van. I don't know. It was just weird. There was a bunch of. It was interesting. But enough with the RV dreams. Let's get into the actual RVs. Let's start it off with a 2015 one. That would be Larry Camper. Now, of course, Larry was only released in 2015, and I believe he was scheduled for release in 2010. However, he was canceled along with Doug RM. I may be wrong about that, though. He has an interesting expression. I like his expression. It looks pretty solid. It's like yelling. The eyes look pretty nice. But the rest of it is, like, this car, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of it for some reason. I mean, it's still pretty interesting. Like, the orange and the yellow, those stripes look magnificent, and the flags on both sides also add some pretty cool uniqueness. On the back here, it's just kind of like a wall, which is unfortunate. And on top, you have whatever that little hole is. You even have like the tan wheels. Everything about Larry Camper is just like tan. And there's the bottom there. And you also have the window here, which it's sort of, yeah, it's actually black. Some angles it looks like it's somewhat see-through, but it's not. And the one up front is also, you can also see some little indents around these stripes that I noticed a whole lot before. Next up, let's go with Larry's best friend. We have Doug RM, also released in 2015. Now, he is a lot of flags. This guy is like a big old arrow shape. It's like the Condor Brother N, except like you put it in MS Paint and stretched it, or made it smaller. You have that interesting expression also. I did mention this in one of my previous videos. I believe that he like wobbles a lot. He also has this weird front bumper, which like comes out, and I'm not sure why. It looks really weird. Like, it's also an interesting touch. You have the green stripes. You have the dark green, and then a smaller, more of like a mint green below, as well as a bunch of flags scattered all over the place. You have a piston cup flag. There's a bunch of piston cup flags, and then in front he has a singular Lightning McQueen flag. On the back here, you have a few more details. I'm glad that they're not leaving it completely blank like Larry Camper. Next up, let's go with the most recent RV release, and that would be Van Scanlane. Now, of course, he was released in 2018, and he's basically a, like, what's it called? A rectangular prism. He appeared, I believe it was like in the same scene with Doug and Larry. He was kind of off to the side there. He has a solid expression. I like the touch of the piston cup hat up top. You also have a lot of stripes on the side. You have a big, small, little lightning bolt, a big lightning bolt. You have a big old, like, almost mustard tan color, big going through all the windows. And then up top you have another smaller brown line. Back here you also have a window, some details. And then say repeat of the other side for that one. You have the mirrors off to the side here, which I'm not sure why they're like way behind him. It's not like they'd be any use to him. If they wanted to be used to him, they'd put it in like up here or something. And he also has some flags. You have the king and the queen, and then you have two piston cup flags back here. And yeah, expression also pretty nice, as well as some of the headlights there. Next up, let's go with this guy, Bud, who was only released in 2016 as a Super Chase. It's a Super Chase, yet it's like the third rarest RV on this list if you count the Condor Brothers as one. He's a pretty simple RV. He's, I don't know, he's pretty rounded. He's like similar to Van Scanlane in the fact that he's like rectangular prism. It's like a rectangular prism, but it has like curved edges, and the front is also slightly slanted. Is another solid expression. There's no like stripes. He's the only one out of all of these guys that doesn't have some form of stripe, apart from Elvis RV. But Elvis RV has a bunch of decals and stuff. So he's basically, in my opinion, the blandest out of them all. Although he does have this pretty nice thing on the back with the rabbit, like the jackrabbit from Boundin', the short that Pixar made. And as I mentioned in the previous videos, you have this up top, which it actually made the car bigger than the deluxe packaging, so they had to put this little piece separately, and it stays in there pretty well, as you can see. There's a quick little tug you can pull it out, so you'd have to work on it. Alright, with the final non-exclusive, if you want to say that, car, in terms of like conventions and stuff, we have Elvis RV. Now, this is the only RV on this list that was actually released more than once. He was, wait, is it a she or a he? I'm not sure. Elvis was released both in 2009, then re-released again in 2010, and then finally re-released again in 2013. Now, she/he, I'm just going to call it Elvis. It's like a gray, very, very light gray color. We have the glasses up front, which I think look really nice. Like, you even have like holes on the side of the glasses to add some character. You have the expression, which matches the scene that Elvis had in the movie. Then the you have a little triangle right there. I know Elvis also has like a bunch of stripes, not stripes, like lights that go around Elvis. You have the Elvis RV Club on the side, on the other side. And of course you have the signature Elvis hair, I want to say, like the Elvis hair, like rear part. And it's, you know, the same as like Larry Camper's would be, except it's in the shape of the signature Elvis hairstyle that he used to have. Alright, so now we're into the exclusive stuff. So let's start that off with Barry Diesel. He was released in 2010, I believe, as an exclusive. He is a very large diecast. He's pretty heavy as well. He has a kind of like that same color that Van had, going down the bottom. And then in the middle you have a brown stripe, and then up top, just above that middle line, you have another brown line that kind of ends. And up there you can see it's like chipped, it's being chipped away slowly. I've had this guy for a very long time. Also have some like dirt or whatever. They have that on like a few of the RVs as well. Up front, you have his expression. There's the tubes that are like going into his mouth because he's not drinking Dinoco. You have the big old hat up here. You have the two big Dinoco oil barrels. So I think this is a pretty good choice for an exclusive. I think the three, what are they called, RVs that they used for like the Comic-Con, exclusives, I think those are probably the 3 best that they could have chosen, because they're all like big to the point where they wouldn't fit in like a normal like deluxe packaging, unless you count like singular versions of the Condor Brothers, and they were all like unique characters that appeared in the film, and Barry is certainly no exception. Alright, so that leaves us with 2 left. So let's go. Big Al, aka Albert Hinky. Now, I actually got this guy from China back in like 2016 for $100. So like half of his flags don't have the decals on them, so I'm not sure if this is like a somewhat of a not like an actual prototype, but like to the point where it wasn't actually 100% finished, or if they just came off somehow. You can see that a few of the other decals are slowly coming off. I don't mind a whole lot, because this guy is an extremely unique character. You have the signature happy expression with the 95 on the nose, the 95 bolt hat. Also have that like dirt here, and then down the side you have it's like the red color, like a light reddish color, and a bigger, more bright like orange color up top. On the back, it's like really sloppy as well. That part also goes up a little bit, so maybe it's not just like a part of, I don't know. On the back here, we have some more of that like dirt stuff, as well as like the like a little hat, well, not a hat, like a window, that's what it's called. And then you have the big old Lightning's Biggest Fan sound, which is like a signature piece of his. Of all the people that were like really worthy of having an STCC release, I say that this guy is probably the most deserving. And then finally you have the Condor Brothers. So let's start it off with K. K is probably my favorite out of them all, just because he's like a clean, gentle breeze model. I should mention that the RVs that I've said, that doesn't count the canceled ones, such as Sid Vanderkamper or Clayton Gentlebreeze. And there might even be some more that they're planning on releasing. So here's K, of course. He has the blue paint all over the front. He has lots of green stripes. He has the King Crown, as well as a few other flags, including the Piston Cup one and the King one. Now, of course, the Condor Brothers were only released as a San Diego, was it San Diego Comic-Con? I believe it was, exclusive in 2013. And that pack back then was probably maybe worth like $100. I want to say I don't remember the exact price, but nowadays it goes for upwards of maybe like $600. And I only got these guys earlier this year, so luckily I was not the one paying. It was a gift. But my parents paid quite the price for this. Here's Condor Brother I. He's like more of a closer model to like Bud. He has a yelling expression. Side you have lots and lots of stripes going every which direction. The back here you have the stripes kind of calm down, and then the stripes go crazy again. And this guy also has some flags. The Piston Cup flag has a Chick Hicks logo on the back, and a King flag. Not sure how you can be a massive King fan like this guy, but also be a Chick Hicks fan, the guy who's like wrecked him. Next we have Condor Brother N. Condor Brother N is pretty unique. He is similar to Doug RM. He's like a very, very like arrow shaped, I want to say. He has a light brown stripe down the middle, dark brown stripe up top, and his expression is interesting. You have some headlights that are covered up by the paint. The flags, you have a King flag, as well as a Piston Cup flag, which has the King flag has a Piston Cup on the back, and the Piston Cup flag has a Chick Hicks logo on the back. And on the back of the RV itself, you actually have some detailed tail lights, as well as that extra tire, which has been on a lot of RVs, and I just haven't mentioned it. Who was it on? It was on Doug RM, I think, has one. And there might be a few others. I like Van Scanlane. Yeah, Van has one. I'm sure Barry has one, as well as... Oh no, none of those others have it. So lastly, we have... Oh yeah, this guy has it. Condor Brother N, not NG. Condor Brothers G. Of course, with the blue paint, the tongues out expression, and he has some gray stripes. He has it's like a grayish brown at the bottom, more of a grayish brown up top, and a little bit of a lighter color, and then a light gray, almost like a white, maybe like an Elvis RV color up top, and those stretch to the end, and they stop, and they stretch to the back, and they end. This guy has like a big window at the bottom, which is interesting, and then of course stripes are on the other side. This guy actually doesn't have a king flag. He has a Lightning McQueen flag up here, and the other one is a checkered flag on both sides. So this guy actually does not have a king flag, which is interesting with the other rest of the RVs. Back there you can see Duff Rex, who I will be reviewing pretty soon. But with that said, that is the end of today's video. So let's get all those RVs back in here, because I don't think there's a single one that's like not deserving of being in here. Let's push them that way, and let's get the other K in here. Those are 4 very, very good looking RVs. Let's put Big Al right there. And we'll start turning the tables when we put Barry there. Let's move my turntable out of the way. Let's get Bud in there as well. Yeah, how about we? Yeah, right. The Scanlane is going right there. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. The RVs are some of the best ones in my opinion. You can see them all right about here. Very cool diecasts. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.